Ruben Loftus-Cheek just tries to get a little right foot, side foot, probably going straight down Bernanos' throat anyway. Little deflection, but there's 3 Chelsea players quite rightly flagged offside. Loftus-Cheek initially picking the ball up in the centre circle, not putting any pressure on him. He just rolls it out to Hudson-Odoi, cuts inside, he rolls it back to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Just tries to get a little right foot, side
Love
foot,
Island fan,
probably
Dan?
going straight down Bernanos' throat anyway. Not on your radar, but there's 3 Chelsea players.
Perry.
Well, my missus is, and apparently there's a cull, isn't there, in Love Island every sort of
You're telling me something
5 or 6 days.
Well,
Chelsea, they're going to have their own sort ofOve Island cull because at the moment, Thomas Tuchel said he's dealing with 29 players.
Love Island
without the England players coming back from the Euro. So not on your two watch list.
This is Aubameyang racing free over on the left-hand side.
There's a
looking to find Smith Rowe. Mendy will pounce.
You're telling me 5 or 6 days. Excellent play from Thomas Partey. Well, Chelsea, they're going to have their own sort of Love Island call because unfortunately Lacazette had come a little bit Thomas Tuchel deeper. We didn't have anybody in the centre forward position. That's without the England players coming back from the Euro. So just couldn't quite get there in time.
This is Aubameyang racing free over on the left-hand side. Looking to find Smith Rowe. Mendy will pounce.
You mentioned Loftus-Cheek and play from Thomas Partey playing today. Nice little ball releasing. Tammy Abrams on the bench. So there's a lot of players who wanted to come a little bit deeper. We didn't have anybody in the centre forward position. Smith Rowe was trying to get there. Just couldn't quite get there in time. When I was talking about the squad, the Love Island call, Chelsea having 29 players with their England players coming back.
There's a lot of players
you mentioned.
Loftus very much part of the first team picture, but a poor first campaign really for Timo Werner. 6 goals last campaign in the Premier League, but he did score some important ones, including against Real Madrid, of course, in the Champions League. Just 3 in his last 27 for club and country. That's not quite good enough.
Yeah, I think when he gets into those areas, because he is so quick and he's so explosive, he doesn't calm himself down. But he brings more to the Chelsea team than just the goals, because when he's looking to get in behind back 3s or back 4s, he then creates a lot of space for likes of Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, you know, just playing in behind him to get themselves on the ball.
Partey to turn. Aubameyang again, he's free. Pulisic is caught out once again. That's an area that Arsenal can certainly exploit. The back heel is good. This is Kieran Tierney. It's hard and low, and there's no end product as Alexandre Lacazette throws himself towards it.
Great play again from Thomas Partey. First thought is, can I look forward? Aubameyang wide out on that left-hand side. First touch, just cuts inside, little back heel for Kieran Tierney, and all you got to do is just fire it across 6-yard box, and Lacazette making a run near post, couldn't quite get his toe to it, but good passing movement from us there.
17 goals in all competitions for Alex Lacazette, 13 in the Premier League. That's the type of goal that he doesn't score too many of, running towards goal, looking to get on the end of it. He's a back-to-goal striker, a player that can certainly bring others into the attack. That's a bit sloppy from Mendy.
Yeah, very poor, just lack of concentration. We've just probably gone from the opening sort of 3 or 4 minutes, we've probably just gone 5 to 8 yards further up the pitch now, and that's why we'd pinned the 3 Chelsea centre-halves back a bit, and they were just playing the ball along their 6-yard box, ended up giving the ball away in our left-back position.
El Neni loses out. Chelsea have possession again. Partey, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe calling for it. Lacazette was caught. The referee allows play to continue. This is Ziyech to spin away. Boos and whistles from the Arsenal support.
I think it was Rudiger who probably just got something on the ball, and he just took Lacazette out on the follow-through. I think because it's a friendly, Andre Mariners trying to let the game flow in the Premier League, that would have been given as a free kick.
Well, this one certainly has been given as a free kick. Nicola Pepe wants to take it quickly. This is Partey. Now it's with Chambers. Partey again. Holding. Tierney. Pulisic will race to the byline, looks to stand one up, no on far post, bar Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, we said, Dan, didn't we, about getting at Pulisic in that sort of right wing-back position, Tierney going on the outside. And what you want Pepe just to hold out. We had 3 players, Smith Rowe, Lacazette and Pepe, all go to near post. So you just want Pepe to make the second centre-forward on the far post.
To try and shepherd it out of play, but this is Smith throw after good work on the right-hand side. Looks to try and lay it off towards Lacazette. Cleared away by Zouma. Partey. Arsenal with an impressive start here. Awkward from Chalobah. Will spin back towards Rudiger.
Just like to see Smith Rowe just put that cross in from the right side just a little bit earlier. Just looking at the replay there, and I'm 100% convinced that in the Premier League that's a free kick, because even though he took the top of the ball, he's taken Lacazette out with his follow-through. Just earlier, Pepe did brilliantly win the ball back down in our far right-hand corner, and then when it comes to Smith Rowe, he should just be whipping it in nice and quickly across the 6-yard box. When he takes that other touch, it gives the Chelsea defence that extra time to get that sort of yard and a half further back and then face the ball.
Lacazette does well. El Neni for Aubameyang, who's running at the Chelsea back line here.
Good defending from Kurt Zouma. Aubameyang trying to go on the outside, maybe just gives it a little bit more, another yard or two, push it past Kurt Zouma, but it was a long Inspector Gadget leg that came out from Zouma with his left foot, and excellent timing on the sliding tackle.
He improved an awful lot, I thought, last season, Kurt Zouma, for Chelsea. Part of the French European Championship squad, but didn't play, as France ultimately disappointed. This is Pulisic, who played in the CONCACAF Nations League final, scored the winner against Mexico. Mexico, USA do battle again in the Gold Cup. Pulisic not part of the squad. Squad chosen pretty much solely from Major League Soccer players. Pulisic and European-based players ignored for that one. Scored in the FA Cup final, of course, against Arsenal. Arsenal coming back to win 2-1, courtesy of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's headline-grabbing performance.
Just looking there, Dan, Mikel Arteta likes all of his players to come back behind the ball. There we had Lacazette was sort of level with the ball. I'd rather that we kept one person up front, because when Callum Chambers is cutting the ball out there, he's got no one to play off. So you're under pressure, aren't you? So I'd rather, whether it was Aubameyang or whether it's Lacazette, initially you want him to close down or track back, but then you say, OK, you've done your job. You stay up front now and you give us something to play off of.
Ziyech to switch for Pulisic. Tierney tight to his man. Loftus-Cheek. Zouma for Pulisic. Havertz also involved. Not seen too much of him in the opening dozen minutes or so. And this is Aubameyang, who's looked very lively. Tierney.
Just looking at Chelsea when they're out of position, they basically go into a flat back five. Obviously with Chambers pushing on this side.
Kovacic has been shoved to the ground. Andre Mariner thinks about it and then gives Chelsea a free kick.
It's good to see Pepe tracking back, trying to nick the ball. That's what we need to see more of next season. He improved dramatically the last sort of 2.5, 3 months of the season with his end product. His willingness to get himself on the ball, his goal scoring and his finishing improved. So hopefully that trajectory can continue this season meeting. So
in his last 11 competitively, Nicolas Pepe. Chalobah back for Mendy.
We know we're back. We know we're back when the fans are singing "Stand Up" if you that mob up the road. So that sort of warms the cockles of my heart. We know we're back, real football.
Next weekend, final game of the Nine Series, the North London derby. Chelsea and Spurs face off in midweek.
You didn't say friendly there, did you?
That's what it's listed as.
That's one thing that you'd never find in the vocabulary of an Arsenal.
Got the better of Arsenal in terms of league position, more recently, more often than not, and of course finished fourth last campaign, but have stamped their Champions League credentials by lifting the trophy, beating Manchester City in the final. That was after being beaten in the FA Cup final by Leicester. Actually lost 3 of the last 5 games and were in danger of not finishing in the top 4, but no matter, given that Champions League success in spectacular fashion. Kai Havertz with the goal. This is Ziyech. Didn't start the final. Loftus-Cheek, of course, was on loan. Zuma to try and thread it forward to the hero of that success over Pep Guardiola's side. Loftus-Cheek once again. Werner for Havertz. Pulisic calling for it. Werner wants it as well. They're backing away at the moment. It slipped through towards Pulisic, and Elneny slides in. Not quite sure what part of the anatomy it was that got the block in. The flag was up anyway.
Yeah, we just retreated a little bit too quickly on Chelsea's right-hand side. Just good link-up play with Havertz. Pulisic just getting himself inside Chiarentini, but Elneny did really well. If you're the holding midfield player, you've got to make sure that you fill in spaces. See there, Pulisic just going a little bit too early. But I don't want us backing off. I want us actually engaging the ball, because you put yourself under more pressure when you let the opposition get themselves into your 18-yard box.
Elneny for holding. Smith Rowe. Signed a new contract to fend off the interests of Aston Villa, of course, recently, and now donning the number 10 jersey. Here's Hudson-Odoi. Thomas Tuchel looking on. Terrific job that he did stepping in after Frank Lampard.
He's an elite
Hôm nay thì thôi, cũng
Frank Lampard's
reigns and doing remarkably well. At the top of Champions League success, but he will be trying. Ziyech caught by Holding.
Yeah, just a little bit late there from Holding on Ziyech. And you mentioned Thomas Tuchel stamping his authority. Hudson-Odoi was just on the ball a second earlier. He was the victim of that early doors, when he in Tuchel's reign down at Southampton, where he didn't track back and he actually gave him the hook and went, if you ain't going to work for the team, sunshine, you can come and sit next to me. He got Alonso, players like Alonso, been ostracised by Frank Lampard, back into the fold and said, you're all starting with a clean slate. And it just shows you that Thomas Tuchel is a step up from Frank Lampard. He's an elite manager. Frank Lampard was learning his trade, and it was the same group of players, and Tuchel got a better tune out of them tactically and with the ball.
It was interesting that he immediately brought back a number of experienced players. Mason Mount didn't start the first game, but I think he quickly realised what a talent the England international is. No Mount in the squad for this particular fixture. Reece James and Chilwell, all part of European Championship England runners-up squad, of course. They are not introduced in this particular fixture. Loftus-Cheek showing good power and pace and poise, but then stopped by Chambers, who has got space to work with himself. Pepe urged on by the Emirates faithful here. Still Nicola Pepe tries to slide it back towards Chambers.
That's where with Nicolas Pepe, he's 1v1 with the centre-half out in the wide areas with Rudiger.
This is Werner, and Havertz is calling for it, and Arsenal need to get players back in defensive positions. Pablo Mari gets his body in the way. Havertz is still free. Werner still has it. Loftus-Cheek calling for it. Pulisic is making progress. Here is the American. It's a cut back in, Partey away. Elneny to cushion and to volley forwards, and Lacazette is onside, but Mendy is yards outside of his penalty area. That's good sweeping from the keeper.
Yeah, it was unlucky from Elneny. Just needs to get a little bit more angle on it, and rather than pick out Lacazette, just maybe hit it towards the touchline, you said there, because Mendy was only sweep the keeper role. If it just goes a little bit more diagonal, then Lacazette's in.
Just a little too straight, as you say. If it curves over towards the touchline on the left-hand side, Mendy may be caught in two minds, may be caught in no man's land.
just talking about Pepe earlier when said Rudiger was out in this wide right position. That's where Pepe should be going. First thoughts outside of him, taking 1v1, because if you're cutting inside, it makes it easier for Rudiger. So you've got to have a game awareness where you think, right, centre-halves don't want to be out here. They don't want to be like where there's loads of space.
Kovacic. Loftus-Cheek. You've seen plenty of the ball in this first half. Pulisic for Havertz. Loftus-Cheek again. Pulisic two to try and beat. Can't beat either. Aubameyang in the way. Chelsea throw.
There again, we've got all 10 outfield players behind the ball. I'd just like to see Lacazette, obviously now engaging the ball. I'd just like to see Lacazette, where he's drifting to now, just stay and come up and engage Chalobah. So if we win it, we need somebody to play off of.
Werner. Ziyech was in space again. No, Tierney will make it.
Yeah, it's good closing down by Kovacic initially. Just toe poking away from Nicolas Pepe. And to be fair, it's good defending by Rob Holding.
Partey to turn. Pablo Mari and Mohamed Elneny.
Yeah, just looking at, see, our formation with the 4-2-3-1, but when we're in possession, Elneny's dropping in between the two centre-halves. That allows Partey to be just a little bit in advance of him, because Partey's passing range has been excellent. We've done a few pre-season games down, haven't we? He was excellent against Rangers in the 2-2 draw. Came on in the second half against Watford, which we did the training game from London Coney. Was very, very good. Ended up dominating the game.
Aubameyang for Tierney. Too much pace on the pass. No, Tierney will make it his. However, the flag is up.
Tierney shouldn't be caught offside when you're the widest man looking across the line. Maybe a bit of pre-season rustiness, but just went half a yard too early. Good decision from the linesman down below us here, and it's helped by obviously the lines that go across the pitch.
And at the European Championship for Scotland, of course, Kieran Tierney had an injury-interrupted campaign. Still managed to start 26 games in the Premier League last term, did the Scotland. One of English top flight's best left backs, left wing back. He's equally adept, and he can play left side of a back three as well.
He come back early from his holidays as well, didn't he? Come back a week early. I think that's the modern day football. I couldn't see that happen in the mid-80s, 90s.
Suggesting that you didn't keep your fitness up over the summer.
Well, good thing is there's no mobile phones. And if there was, they'd have probably been turned off.
Rudiger for Chalobah. And now Zuma. Pulisic for Loftus-Cheek, caught by Partey. That's a little unlucky because the ball was there to be won.
Just gone up to 21 minutes, I'd say, on Chelsea's side. I think Loftus-Cheek has been very impressive. We mentioned earlier, Dan, didn't we, that he's playing obviously to impress his own manager, but he's playing for people that watch him to impress, and he looks like he has got a point to prove. When he's been in possession, he's been positive. He's carried the ball forward very well a couple of times.
Kovacic away from Partey towards Havertz. Elneny in the way. Referee pulls it back.
Andre Marin getting the pantomime boos. But to be fair to him, I think he was just caught, Kovacic, there by Partey, and Andre Marin was trying to play advantage. Didn't quite come for Havertz, so he's obviously pulled the play back. I actually like Andre Marin. I was going to say, I like his tan. He's got like an all-round tan.
Quite sure what he's got it from. It's been dreadful rather recently.
Are you alluding that he might be on the sunbeds?
Hudson-Odoi. Ziyech.
But I actually like him I think he's a very good referee. I think
Tierney gets the shout and just ducks underneath that.
Yeah, good communication from Pablo Mari and Elneny. Then Kieran Tierney doing the impression of the tortoise, just making sure that gets his neck into his shoulders.
Leno, just a second pre-season friendly for the German, who was at the European Championships third choice keeper for Germany. Plenty of speculation as to whether Arsenal might dip into the transfer market for a keeper. And Ramsdale, the latest name to be linked. Arthur Okonkwo is on the bench, a young keeper we saw play against Hibs in Scotland in pre-season last month. Here's Mendy, who did brilliantly for Chelsea, having come in to displace Kepa, who is on the bench, the Spaniard.
Yeah, last season, especially in the Champions League, he made big saves at important times. And I think he just gives like a calm authority and an assurance to whoever, even though Tuchel normally likes, we've got today playing as a back three, but you can just tell that with him in goal, they're a little bit more settled. When Kepa's in goal, you can tell that they're the back three a little bit more uneasy. Right, we've gone zone across the 6-yard box. You've got to make sure now. Lacazette at the near post, Callum Chambers, Rob Holding, good header, Rob Holding.
Ziyech with the delivery, Holding with the header away. Rudiger, the flag has gone up.
Yeah, we've struggled a little bit pre-season from corners especially, conceded a couple of goals. Where, say, we're going zone or across the 6-yard box. When it comes into your area, you've got to make sure you tack the ball exactly what Rob Holding did there. And then you've got to make sure, I'd like to see us come out maybe a little bit quicker, just that first initial 5 to 6 yards, to make sure there's daylight between Rudiger there and offside. But in the end, he was a good half a yard offside.
Leno long, Rudiger for Loftus-Cheek. Here is Mendy. Terrific, as Perry was pointing out last season, 16 clean sheets in the Premier League, 25 in all competitions. Spent big on keepers recently, Chelsea. They appear to have got it right with this man. Kepa's future undecided. Bettinelli on the bench as well.
Yeah, we're just trying to implement the high press, making Chelsea go long, exactly what you want. Trying to put high balls into Werner, which is food and drink for Pablo Mari, and we win the ball back.
Smith Rowe glances towards the penalty area. Lacazette waits. Here is Lacazette. Partey. Tierney. Aubameyang on the move, just about stays on. Moving in the wrong direction, but he's up against Pulisic, who will fancy his chances of beating. This is Partey to control and shoot. Elneny. Partey again. Pepe round the corner, but Chalobah spotted that. Ziyech goes down. Chelsea come away with possession again, and Werner has got Havertz to his right. It's still Timo Werner. It's Kai Havertz. There's the first touch, and the second into the roof of the net. Definitively done by the German. That is a super strike, and it's Chelsea that draw first blood in this London derby.
Just total lack of concentration. That's the second time we've been caught 2v1, us in possession on the edge of the 18-yard box. When the ball breaks down, then you've got Timo Werner on this left-hand side and Kai Havertz just totally unmarked in the centre. So if Kieran Tierney is going to push on, you can't have both your centre-halves pushing on at the same time. And to be fair, this time, Timo Werner picked out the right pass, good first touch from Havertz and an excellent finish. But that is just total lack of concentration and lack of communication, because, as I said before, you cannot get caught 2v1 when the ball breaks down on the edge of their box.
Well, 4 goals in the Premier League last season from limited appearances. He scored 2 in the European Championships for Germany in just 4 starts. He's got 5 in 18 now for the national side, and you did sense as the season went on he was much more important for Chelsea. He found some rhythm, and of course that goal against Manchester City in the Champions League final, but he was always a very, very good performer in his time at Bayer Leverkusen. And you're absolutely right, because it was almost a carbon copy of what we saw earlier. Werner on that occasion did not release Havertz, but in terms of the position on the pitch where they were, it was exactly the same.
But on the first occasion, Pablo Mari did really well because he made sure that he stayed in the space, and then Werner tried to bring in Havertz and he cut out the intended ball. But there's a culmination of reasons, because you've got to have a game awareness. Pablo Mari, if he's the last man, he's got to pull people back and realise that he's exposed. But there's a difference as well from Chelsea. When we're attacking, they're leaving two up. When Chelsea attack, we don't leave anybody up. We obviously have everybody comes back behind the ball, so they're always dangerous on the counter-attack. So you just got to have more awareness what's going around you.
Partey, wonderful touch to get away from Loftus-Cheek and still going forward, just runs out of ideas maybe a little. Chelsea win it back momentarily. Tierney's effort, if we can call it that, not good enough.
I think it was a sort of a half tackle come half shot, wasn't it?
Thomas Tuchel will be pleased with what he's seen in terms of the strike from Havertz. 5 defeats in the last 30. 3 of those at Stamford Bridge. His first game was a rather drab 0-0 draw against Wolves, but they improved so much after that. This is Werner breaking forward again, and still, can he finish? Well, he toe pokes it into the side netting, or just side of the side netting. Always think surely you've got to go with your left foot in a situation like that.
Again, out of possession, Chelsea leaving 3 up front. See Rob Holding getting caught, Werner, but shot on target. As you said there, when Werner's running there, he's got the ball in between his feet. So he's either got to make his mind up that he's going to just put it onto his left-hand side and go across the lano, or he's got to cut back inside and hit his right foot. He's tried to toe poke it with his right foot, and he never really looked like he had a picture in his mind of what he's going to do.
Absolutely agree. Didn't score in the European Championships. He missed so many opportunities last season for Chelsea. Only netted 6 in the top flight. Won more penalties than any other player for Chelsea last season, would you believe? He gets in some good positions, but you're right, it's into the final third and the confidence seems to drain. Here is Smith Rowe to turn. Caught, free kick. Two young players with big futures. Hudson-Odoi, of course, linked away with Chelsea a few years ago before a bad injury. Clipped through towards Aubameyang. Can he control it? The flag is up.
Just looking at Chelsea again, like the difference when they're out of possession, they go into a 5-3-2 and they leave Werner, and it could be Ziyech, could be Havertz. They leave them up front, so it causes us problems. We have to have 3 back, and when we're pushing our 4 backs on, sometimes as we've been caught 2v1. So you just got to be aware of what's going on around you, even though we're in possession, probably 30-40 yards from Chelsea's goal.
Kovacic for Zuma. Pulisic. Half hour played in Game of the Mind series. A London affair involving Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham. This is Smith Rowe. Who drives for goal and hits the post. Oh, is that a penalty? Well, the Arsenal fans want it. Andre Mariner waves claims away as Partey was caught, and Chelsea continue, and Rudiger is on the move, and he's got Werner to his left, Havertz to his right. Here is Timo Werner just behind the German, and that's Leno at the near post to collect.
Really unlucky from Emil Smith Rowe. We did brilliantly to Rob Kovacic, and that's what I want to see from Smith Rowe. Take more responsibility in and around the 18-yard box, get onto his left foot. To be fair, when he first hit the shot, I thought it would be Mendy down, low down to his left, comes back off of the post, and on first looks, it looked like that Partey got there first, and it was a trip. So, to be fair to Andre Mariner, he's at the wrong angle. It's up to the assistant down in front of us here on the right-hand side to think it was a penalty, and he wasn't interested.
Tierney for Arsenal. Look to respond, having gone a goal behind. Oh, was that a penalty? The referee looking directly at that. Nothing doing again. This time Smith Rowe goes down. Aubameyang. Lacazette tries to touch it towards Pepe. Lacazette again, lets it run through. Chambers low. Easy for Mendy.
Yeah, couldn't quite get the angle on the cross. Callum Chambers there needs to wrap his foot around it a bit more and try and hit it onto the far post where you've got Lacazette and Aubameyang lurking.
Ziyech for Pulisic. Just cheek. Chalobah. Kovacic. Chalobah again, challenged by Lacazette. Chelsea just resting possession here. Arsenal with a flurry a few minutes ago, a couple of opportunities. Here is Partey. It's going to spin all the way through. Well, Emil Smith Rowe had a big opportunity for the Gunners just a few minutes ago. The woodwork to the rescue for Chelsea.
Yeah, it's good interception from Thomas Partey. Smith Rowe just getting up to his left foot. Ball rebounds off the post. And on second looks, there's not enough for me for a connect there. Thomas Partey went down a little bit too easy from a challenge from Ziyech. I'd rather he got his body across and kept us in possession.
Just admit, I thought there might have been something in there.
Like tickled the back of his calf.
Maybe. Maybe. Not given. No recourse to a replay.
Played a little bit lower and maybe not hit quite as hard.
Play, of course. Meanwhile, this does not look good from an Arsenal point of view because
just joined us now.
Thomas Partey is down at the moment. He's had one or two issues in his Arsenal.
Brilliant. Picked it up in her own half, kept on running, dumped it in.
From about 2 yards away from where
Yeah.
it was exactly scored there from Kai Havertz. That'll make a good little duo put together, those two.
Somebody in our production team is working on that as we speak, I'm sure. Here's Rudiger. Seen too much of Hudson-Odoi so far.
I think it's hard for Christian and Callum. We're in that position. If your name happens to be Alonso, it's okay if you don't spend your entire time up that far side. Or if your name happens to be Azpilicueta, it doesn't matter. But if your name happens to be an attack-minded player there, you're thinking, why are you not on the pitch? It's the same position. You're doing that same job, you know, and you know when they get the chance, they will go there. But I understand that. I've had to do that job before. It's the hardest job in the field. It's the most hard-working job. It's sometimes the most thankless job because you can run all day long and knock the ball. And by the way, you better be a good defender, a good midfielder, and a good attacker at the same time. Have I got?
Smith Rowe hit the post. I think he might have just turned his ankle, so I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't happened before that if at half time he'll obviously try and run it off, but then he'll come off at half time.
He's not moving freely, is he?
He's just sort of beckoned over to the touchline.
Well, 8 minutes to go until half time. There will be alterations at the break, obviously, and during the second half. Rudiger.
covering centre-back coming on as well, and usually a defensive midfielder. The game
Leicester
has
managed
changed
to
a
come
wee bit,
back
and
from
if you're Callum there,
conceding
he's got
first goal of the game to win
get there
the
if he's
fixture in
gonna
the
do
Premier League on 3 occasions. They conceded the first goal on 17
Partey
occasions.
surely
It's a situation
he's
surely
not
that
gonna
Mikel
carry
Arteta
on.
will want to try and address. He's got to try and get his team to come back from conceding.
As I started saying that, I thought, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to
So
make
usually
the
good
Partey
when
joke.
they grabbed the first goal of the game, winning 16 of 20 and only 2 defeats, last of which was against West Brom when Thiago Silva was sent off. A 5-2 home reverse, first of Thomas Tuchel's reign. Didn't help West Brom in their calls to stay up. Occasions they conceded the first goal on 17 occasions. It's a situation surely
Hudson-Odoi.
Fast feed against Nicola Pepe and still going forward, looks for the curler, starts it too far outside of the post.
Yeah, good play from Hudson, just cutting in from his left-hand side. Obviously, 1v1 where with Pepe doesn't really want to defend. Just a little body shimmy and a foot over.
So we'll want to try and address.
Goes on the outside of him again. Callum Chambers backing off
to come back from
Odoi
conceding.
just trying to bend it inside Bernto's top left-hand corner.
England international, of course, 3 caps for his country, but has fallen out of favour because of injury. And speaking of injuries, well, this does not look good for Thomas Partey, who has tried to stay on the pitch, but one suspects Arsenal are going to have to change it. And
again, Callum Chambers
potentially,
Odoi
you can
just trying
see
to bend it inside
where he
Bernto's
might have
top
picked this
left-hand
up.
corner.
England international, of course, 3 caps for his country, but has fallen out of favour because of injury. Awkward, isn't it?
And speaking of, it just looks like he's turned his ankle joint, and he's it looks like it might be ankle ligaments. With a bit of luck, it's not too, because the good sign that he's actually walking off. So I think he's just maybe hyperextended that joint with that interception, which led to obviously Smith Rowe's when he hit the post.
So Thomas Partey coming off, unfortunately, because of injury, and the player to come on is a player, if you believe newspaper reports. You should never believe them, but if you do,
They don't make anything up.
he was already out of his way, on his way from Emirates Stadium, but he is here and he is playing and he's on for Thomas Partey. Had a wonderful European Championship for Switzerland. Player that can divide opinion, and of course was banned for the last Swiss game in the European Championships. Might have been different for the Swiss if
The good sign that he's actually walking off, so I think it's just maybe
played, picking up that way for us.
well, we would like him to.
Is Pablo Maring. El Neni, he played in Switzerland with Basel. This is the ball, didn't he? Ziyech, woodwork struck at both ends. Smith Rowe, and that's a yellow card.
Yeah, he knew that Smith Rowe was beyond him, just attacking his 3 centre-halves. So Kovacic obviously just taking one for the team. Just earlier, Mohamed El Neni getting caught on the ball. He did the same thing at Watford during the week, where he got caught on the ball in our own 18-yard box. That's one thing he's got to get out of his game, where he's got to get himself side on a little bit. And excellent strike from Ziyech with the outside of his left foot. Looked like from our angle down it was going to nestle in the far corner. Lucky enough, it just come back off the post.
Struggled a little, Hakim Ziyech, having been a real star. For Ajax, double figures assists the previous 4 years. 23 in the Premier League last term. Meanwhile, got another Arsenal player down, Zuma, the perpetrator.
I think it's Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's an awful challenge.
So, if we're playing this
That's a couple of yards away from the referee.
as we're supposed to be playing proper football, which it has been, Chelsea have snapped in a few challenges.
Подбираемся к
You're
концу
telling me it's not a friendly?
That's
первого.
no, the one against that mob up the road. But even this, so the pace of game. Intention of playing the ball.
Tierney's had 1 or 2 issues, as we know, hence the arrival of Tavares. He's done well as a backup, but he will just be a backup. Mikel Arteta will not be happy with the challenge. Hakim Ziyech, a couple of goals last season in the Premier League, the last against Manchester City, an important one in the top flight, and the 2-1 success against the eventual champions here. This is good technique. I like this. Cross the...
Работает как надо. Все-таки, мне кажется, английский футбол, он несколько в другой вселенной. Давайте после этой атаки продолжим. Прострел следует.
But lucky for us, it just rebounded back into play.
Zuma to nod away. That's the goal scorer underneath the studs. Tierney will take. Chambers lets it run, clever for Pepe. Just there on the side of the touchline. 45 is up, 2 minutes of added on time at the end of this first fixture in the Mind series.
I always think it's a sign of a good game when it goes very quickly and you think, oh, it's half time come already. You know, you look down, you think, oh, the 4 officials put the board up 2 minutes. So for a pre-season friendly, in inverted commas, it's actually been, the pace of the game's been good.
Tempo has been good. I think that's what coaches want, isn't it? Because if they're played too slowly, I always wonder what benefit that you get. This is Xhaka caught in possession. Loftus-Cheek. Pulisic backing up Tierney, 1 step over and another. No on far post, bar Chambers, although Hudson-Odoi was closing in.
Again, it's us getting caught in position in that centre midfield area. This time it was Granit Xhaka. where you've got to have an awareness of what's going on around you. Get yourself side on, because you know full well that when it's coming into you, whether it's Loftus-Cheek, whether it's Kovacic or Ziyech, they're going to come and put you under pressure.
Goal threat in general. We know how difficult it is to create chances against Chelsea, but we have posed that threat, particularly in the wide areas. Pepe's attitude's been good. Smith Rowe has looked bright. So those are the pluses, but as we've seen, the longer that half has worn on, Chelsea have sliced through us way too easily, Nick.
At the back, there's been a few issues, hasn't there?
Absolutely, yeah, and I think Mikel Arteta will be looking to work on those at half-time and throughout the remainder of pre-season, really. I think the main issue is the way we're setting up without the ball. We've kind of gone man-to-man at times, which means that on occasion, Rob Holding's ending up in central midfield. He's following Ziyech into the engine room, and it's leaving Pablo Mari isolated and exposed. We saw it for the goal. There was a 2v1 situation. You can't afford to let that happen, really, especially when the fullbacks are pushed on. I can see what Mikel Arteta's trying to do with the man-to-man setup, trying to nullify the likes of Havertz and Ziyech, but they're dragging key defenders out of position, and it's leaving a massive hole for Chelsea to play through us and to get at the heart of that back four, and we have to fix that in the second half.
Yeah, especially when our back four is not renowned for its pace, and obviously the Chelsea front line, they've got a few quickies in there.
Exactly, yeah. Timo Werner is rapid, we know that. Kai Havertz's movement is terrific, and Ziyech is a sort of a player that pops up here, there and everywhere. So they're dragging our man markers into positions where they want us to go, and it's leaving big holes. So Arsenal have got a lot of work to do in that regard. I'd prefer us actually just to sit off a little bit and protect that lack of pace, because look, Pablo Mari's not the quickest, and Rob Holding's the same. Our central defensive partnership is not blessed with great speed. You can't afford to leave Timo Werner 1v1, or Kai Havertz for that matter, because you know he's a player that can do some damage too.
Yeah, very much so. Right, well, let's have a look at some of the highlights then from the first half, and we'll talk through what we see here. We started off fast, didn't we?
It was fantastic. Good switch pass from Thomas Partey, and that's great. It's just good football all round, isn't it? The switch pass, taking it inside, creating the space for Tierney on the overlap, and it's a wonderful ball into the box. And the only disappointment is the fact that no one's there to finish it off. This is what Arsenal are about as an attacking force. These are the kind of situations that Mikel Arteta wants to create. Lacazette's an inch away, isn't he, there?
Yeah. Getting chalk on his boots as well, Aubameyang there, as you wingers love to say.
Exactly. This is the goal, isn't it? And we've left ourselves 2v1 exposed. You cannot afford to do that. Look, El Nenny's chasing back, Tierney's chasing back, but it's all in vain. If both fullbacks are forward, you can't have the other central defender looking to pinch the ball higher up the pitch. They've got to hold their ground and their position and offer some kind of protection. As soon as Chelsea had that 2v1, there was only one outcome really, and Kai Havertz is an outstanding finisher. Look, Partey's gone, Rob Holding's there in the mix. He doesn't need to be there.
Callum Chambers is up there.
Does not need to be there. He's left that big hole for Werner, who, in fairness, and to his credit, makes the right decision, makes the right pass at the right time. 2v1. We've seen a lot of players mess this up. Mari doesn't do a lot wrong here. It's just a good ball and a tidy finish in the end from Chelsea. Really ruthless from their point of view.
It's frustrating, isn't it? Go ahead.
No, this is what we can do. You can pinch the ball in good areas. We've done that throughout pre-season, and Smith Rowe, I said, has looked bright in the first half. He's unlucky, isn't he?
And then Thomas, you know, it would have been a soft penalty to give away. I think Perry said in commentary he would have preferred to have seen Thomas just hold on to the ball here and try to recycle.
Yeah, on reflection, with no VAR, you know, just stay on your feet. Here Arsenal losing it in a bad area. And that's been a feature of pre-season. We one or two, you know, risks we've taken at the back, and mistakes have been made. And when you come up against a side of Chelsea's calibre, and when you've got world-class players like this up against you, it really is risky to try and overplay at the back in those scenarios.
One of the frustrations of last season and of previous seasons, you know, recent seasons anyway, is that it feels like for us to create a chance, it's very difficult. There's a lot of passes, you know, and all of that going on. For the team against us to create a chance, it's very quick. We've seen that again today, cutting right through the middle.
And this is what Chelsea have developed into. We saw at the outset Thomas Tuchel wanted 80% possession, and they were quite boring to watch, but they've slowly become more of a counter-attacking side. I think we look better when we're a counter-attacking side.
Take flight.
In many respects, but especially with the personnel we've got out there today. Ben White will help, by the way, because Ben White's quick, and Ben White will allow us to squeeze up there, will leave us less exposed. So that's the positive moving forward. But with today's lineup, unfortunately, with Pablo Mari or Rob Holding as the last man, it's an issue. And that's a problem.
Well, we saw Ben White warming up a little bit earlier on, just away to our left over here, and the crowd were loving it. They were giving him a big cheer.
Too right they were, yeah. Look, he's going to be a popular player. He's an England international, isn't he? Classy player, and we've signed him for big money. We're going to throw, you know, our weight of support behind Ben White. And look, I'm confident that Ben White can be a success with Arsenal. His pace will be an asset to us moving forward. It would allow us to squeeze up the pitch, as I've said, but his distribution is also class. And those crossfield passes that we've seen Thomas Partey play today, you know, some really good forward passes. Ben White is capable of doing that as well.
Well, let's focus on Thomas Partey then quickly, because you know, before, like you said, before he came off injured, he was having a blinder. He looks really, really good and getting a lot of love on social media, as you can imagine. So let me just go through some of those first. Liam here saying Partey looks class again. Aubameyang looks hungry and quality on the left. I've got a feeling Pepe is going to have a big season for us too. Evan here says, what a great start from Partey. Aubameyang also looking sharp. Lightning emoji. And now to Arsenal tactics. Give the ball to Partey. And next generation Arsenal here says there will be no better centre midfield than Thomas Partey in the Premier League this season.
Well, I mean, that's big talk, but I like it. He's got the capability. We've seen it with our eyes.
Yeah.
When Thomas Partey is fit and firing, he just oozes quality. He's physically strong. He can be that powerful defensive midfielder that we want and that we've been crying out for. But he's also got that grace in possession and the ability, and this is the crucial bit, the ability to play those killer forward passes. We don't know what's going to happen with Granit Xhaka, but if he sticks around, you've got two guys there in central midfield, plus Lokonga, potentially, that can open up an opposition team with those killer piercing through balls. So yeah, I think Thomas Partey was superb before he got injured, and I was absolutely gutted for him, and I just hope there's something minor, not something that's going to be troubling him for weeks to come, because he's been great in pre-season, and I think he can take his game to the next level. And
it was nice to hear Granit Xhaka get a nice reception when he came on as well, because obviously there's been a bit of speculation around his future. His time at the club has been, you know, topsy-turvy, but the fans here, the Emirates today, still got behind him.
They did. Well, he's a good player, and he is still in our top two central midfielders. Let's be honest. If he's fit and available, it's got to be Partey and Xhaka, hasn't it? With the squad that we've got right now, and we saw his class after he came on. He got the ball, didn't he? And he looked up and he played a beautifully weighted pass in behind the fullback for Aubameyang to get on the end of. And those are the situations where Arsenal have looked great in this first half. We're losing 1-0. We look very shaky on those transitions. Certainly wobbly at times, but on the ball, we've got that ability to get in behind the opposition rearguard with those piercing through balls.
Nicola Pepe is another man who seems to be on a mission. I mean, you've always been singing Nicola Pepe's praises, and he seems to be having a good game today. Let's just have a look at some of the tweets that have been coming in about Pepe. From Danny here, who says Pepe's attitude has changed massively. He looks way more hungry to impress now. Clap emoji. Pepe has improved so much defensively, from MK. And Art de Roche, who's actually just sitting over there. Nicola Pepe fights to keep the ball a lot more, and I really like it.
That is nail on head. It's the attitude. That's why I wanted to talk about Nicola Pepe at half time, because I feel that he's got that. Something's clicked in his head, and now he's very much a team player, and he'll close down with intensity. And he'll really get stuck in. I think we know his goal threat. We talked about it ahead of kick-off. We know he's a clinical finisher. If he can add the other side to his game, which we've seen today and towards the end of last season, we've got an all-round winger there who can really help us.
What have you made of Emil Smith-Rowe in this game as well?
I think he's looked bright. I'd like to see him on the ball a little bit more often, but when he's been on it, he's been really direct and positive. He's hit the post, obviously. He's got in behind down this right-hand side. He's a quality player, and he's a number 10. Wearing that number 10 shirt, I think he can be a real success for Arsenal this season. Just need to get him onto the ball a little bit more often. And without the ball, because we seem really intent on man-marking Kai Havertz with a midfielder, it's taking Mo Elneny with him or Thomas Partey. So he's having to drop back into quite a deep central midfield position when we don't have the ball. Is that his strong suit? Is that our strongest platform in there when the team are looking to play out? Do we want Emil Smith-Rowe alongside of Thomas Partey? Yeah. I don't think so, really. So that's one area I think Mikel Arteta can maybe use him better moving forward. Something that you noticed, actually, which is...
With eToro's Copy Trader, you can copy the top performing investors, meaning I can put all my time and effort into achieving goals like becoming a manager. Hi Ralph, how are you, mate?
Hi Joe, how are you? You okay?
Yeah, I've been working on something. What do you think? Yes, lads, push up, tuck in, come on. Get in the box. Rep, come on.
Joe, have you built a dugout in your garden?
Nah. Nah, not me. That wasn't me, that. Yeah. Like getting my match fitness back.
Okay, Joe, give us some squats.
Come on, Joe. Let's go. Come on, Joe.
Hammy's a bit tight, mate. And finally, to explore my musical side. Okay, it's a lot more straightforward to copy eToro's top investors than it is to copy Beethoven. Do two things at once with eToro's Copy Trader. When they invest, you invest.
In the end, a really good atmosphere, by the way.
Yes,
and I'm sure they'll give all the new players a welcome. Looking forward to seeing Ben White, of course. But no, I like our goal threat going forward. I think we've looked dangerous. It's just solidifying without the ball. Do not leave one centre-back back, especially if both full-backs are pushed on. And I would just like to see us playing in a slightly more orthodox manner without the ball, rather than trying to be quite clever as we are at the moment, because Chelsea, for want of a better expression, they're just picking us off. Yeah. You know, it's too easy for them. Yeah. Right, Clarkie, thank you very much. You'll be back with me at full time, of course. Remember, we love hearing from you on the show. The best way to get in touch with us on the Breakdown Live, you can use that hashtag if you want, actually, or at Adrian J. Clark. That's Clarkie's Twitter handle. He normally puts a tweet out, and you can just respond to that. If there's any talking points or topics or players that you would like us to focus on for the full-time show, that is the best way to do it. Right, the sun is kind of flitting in and out here at the Emirates Stadium. It's looking resplendent. A great word. I thought I'd shoehorn that in. The team's just about to make their way back out from the dressing room, so I think it's a good time to hand back to your commentary team of Dan and Perry.
Welcome back. The Arsenal players second to emerge from the dressing rooms at the Emirates Stadium. Chelsea personnel out and ready for the second half.
Giao cái đến từ châu Âu, uy tín hàng đầu Việt Nam. Hiện đang là một trong những
at the break. No real surprise, and we expect alterations throughout.
Raman Baba Lỗi bàn không phải là Raman Baba mà
Tuchel has made a number of changes at the break. No real surprise, and we expect alterations throughout this second half. And we're also going to see the Arsenal new boy Ben White, who was signed from Brighton just this week, was part of the European Championships for England, didn't play, of course, has only had one season in the Premier League. Ben White is on for his, well, unofficial debut, I guess you'd suggest it is, in the red and white of Arsenal. A lot expected because of the price tag. He had a really good season with Brighton last campaign. He's a player that Mikel Arteta obviously likes, who can play the ball out from the back, assured in possession, and an imposing figure as well, very good in the air. There's an awful lot to like about Ben White. And from an Arsenal point of view, let's hope that he hits the ground running for the Gunners this season. Changes of foot for Chelsea as well. A number of alterations ahead of this second half. Malang Sarr is one of the players to come on. He was on loan at Porto last season, former Nice defender. So Sarr on in Chelsea blue. We're also going to see David Zappacosta, who was on loan at Genoa last season, the Italian international, plus Tammy Abraham and Danny Drinkwater for Chelsea for this second half.
It's like it's Rob Holding, by the way, he went off. So that White could
Andre Mariner, make sure we've got 11 aside after those alterations.
After
And we're underway for the second half then at the Emirates Stadium. It is Chelsea that lead Arsenal in the main series by a goal to nil. Kai Havertz, the goal scorer. Havertz with a wonderful strike to give Chelsea the lead as Pulisic looks to put some pressure on Tierney. That's good defensive work from Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, Kieran Tierney's making sure that he tracks run of Pulisic, make sure he stayed goal side and just cleared the danger.
Pulisic involved again. Zappacosta will operate over on the right-hand side. Here is Pulisic once more.
To be honest with Xhaka, I've seen worse.
Roll back. Chelsea look to try and build once more.
Pulisic.
Dujon Sterling is also on for Chelsea, incidentally. He's going to play in a back three along with Chalobah and Malang Sarr.
Pulisic allowed to turn. Any room for a shot? Not yet. Maybe to Zappacosta. Decided not to put it in first time. Over instead toward Abraham, who quite sorted his feet out to get the connection he was looking for.
Và va chạm đã khiến cho Zappacosta bị đau. Đây là một pha bóng thực sự xấu chơi của cầu thủ Arsenal. Một pha bóng mà chắc chắn là Zappacosta sẽ rất đau. Người phạm lỗi đó là Granit Xhaka. Rất may. Chalobah, Rudiger. Chúng ta đã được thấy đội hình hiệp 2 của Arsenal, đó là Belleno, Kieran Tierney, Saka, Lacazette, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang, Ben White, Nicolas Pepe và Callum Chambers, Pablo Mari, Mohamed Elneny. Đó là những cầu thủ trong hiệp 2 của Arsenal. Pulisic, Zappacosta, rất nguy hiểm. Người chạm bóng cuối cùng là Tammy Abraham. Đúng là trận đấu được phát trên trang chủ của Arsenal, là chỉ duy nhất trang chủ của Arsenal. Thì Arsenal chỉ giới thiệu mỗi đội hình của họ trong hiệp 2. Chelsea thì không. Chúng ta xem lại pha đưa bóng vào của Zappacosta. Nhưng đáng tiếc là Abraham lại có một pha kết thúc không tốt. Ben White, Matt Leno, Pablo Mari. Nicolas Pepe, cú đá ra ngoài của Nicolas Pepe. Trước đó là một cú đảo chân tốt của Pepe. Hãy cùng xem lại cú đảo chân và kết thúc bằng chân không thuận của Nicolas Pepe. Chính Nicolas Pepe sẽ là người đá phạt góc. Granit Xhaka. Euro vừa qua thì Granit Xhaka chơi tốt trong màu áo của đội tuyển Thụy Sĩ. Bây giờ sẽ là đội hình của Chelsea trong hiệp 2. Thủ môn là Eduard Mendy, số 4 Malasa, số 10 Pulisic, số 9 Abraham, số 12 Loftus-Cheek, số 27 Sterling, số 6 Drinkwater, số 20 Hudson-Odoi, số 22 Hakim Ziyech, số 26 Encaloba, số 21 Zappacosta.
Chelsea on the screen, number of alterations for Thomas Tuchel, including the lesser-spotted Danny Drinkwater, who's playing. He's taken a bit of a nosedive since winning the title with Leicester, former Manchester United junior. Drinkwater was on loan in Turkish football last season with Kasımpaşa. Xhaka.
Detained by Chalobah.
In that Chelsea wall with Loftus-Cheek and Tammy in there.
Chalobah's in there as well. It's a big old wall.
Not that far from goal, so Lacazette, Pepe or Aubameyang will have to get it up and down quickly.
Nobody's doing the line below.
Lacazette turned it round the wall and Mendy made a smart save.
Yeah, well done, Mendy, because the classic thing is you're expecting it to go over the top here. He must be very, very blocked there. Doesn't seem until the last second, but he's not cheated. He's not tried to move. He's not tried to guess. He thought, no, if it beats me in the near post and I don't see it, then I'll have to deal with it. But if he'd have beaten on his own side, that would have been very poor goalkeeping. He wasn't. He did the right thing. Well done.
Pepe's delivery, it's gone a long way through. It was almost an own goal. And in the end, it will be a corner instead. It was Loftus-Cheek who got the touch there.
I think to safe and say we're under a little bit of pressure at the moment. Well, considering we could have gone 2-0 up, suddenly, you know, a break, a free kick, a corner that went fizzing across the goal. I think it's all about trying to survive this little bit.
changes there from Chalobah. There's Pepe. Put in by Tierney, easily dealt with though. Drinkwater looking to lead the break.
This is Thomas Tuchel. He's been to the pantomime before. We've just heard his voice there. He's behind you. Do they have pantomimes in Germany? I don't think they do. I think it's a very British thing.
Chalobah, approaching an hour gone at the Emirates. It's been really entertaining stuff so far. Sick almost uses pace to unsettle Larry and get back on the ball there.
You sometimes forget that because of the ridiculous pace of Werner. You mentioned about Havertz. 206 is frighteningly quick as well. That was a lot closer than it looked first. And nearly got through and goal. What's been quite noticeable in this second half is we've not got that much possession. You know, I'd say it seems to be with Arsenal at the moment. They're holding it well, and that's fine because we can play that game. You know, play a little bit in the break, we drag Arsenal on, and there's a couple of times where we've nicked it, as we have now, high up the field. We look very dangerous.
You win it back. This is Abraham off for Ziyech. To Loftus-Cheek, had a look before he got it. Thought he'd done a bit better than that. Aubameyang. To traffic in the shape of Hudson-Odoi. Did feel that challenge earlier. Need some help with it.
Once again, I mean, certain players just do have spectacular pace, and he has got spectacular pace. And I think was it Ruben there? But certainly, one man he'll be thinking, I wish I'd have taken my first chance. Do you know what? He's not offside, but it looks a bit there. Lovely touch to get through past goalkeeper Leno, and he's kind of, he has to shoot it, you know, his left foot first time. Having said that, you know, he's quite calm there, you know, but he had to take that first opportunity there. I mean, defender knows nothing about it. It's Amari coming back there, knows nothing about it, but it doesn't matter. He'll be kicking himself, won't he? That was a great opportunity. He just about made it all himself right enough, but what an opportunity for him.
The post in the first half, Hakim Ziyech. Interesting to see if he goes the distance today. He's played United for Chelsea in November.
By the way, it's great defender. Absolutely magnificent dressing for Sam. Do you know what?
The early one.
It was interesting there because, you know, the through ball was on there, and I thought, because he was on his heels slightly, he thought, I'm not going to get back in time there. So he said, I'm going to take a chance and we'll try and cut this out. And it was actually, it's one of those ones that can pass quickly. That was superb defending there.
Abraham trying to get on the end of that. Leno read it well in the first instance, like Mendy did in the first half. Hudson-Odoi. It's okay after that challenge a moment ago. Here's Loftus-Cheek in the drive forward. This is what he loves to do. The pass was lacking though. Tierney able to kick it away. Played for an hour now. Still 1-0 Chelsea.
I see that. Was that Dujon Sterling? I actually cut that was, yeah, it was Dujon Sterling, wasn't it?
There he is, Sterling. Really good to see him back. If you watch PL2 football with us, you've seen him make his return in the second half of last season. Injury and illness robbed him of almost a year of his career. Costa earns Chelsea a corner meanwhile.
considering the height that is in this team, I think they should have a chance to go and attack these corner kicks.
Well, he's got the advantage of being able to use his hands when he grabbed that one.
Yeah, don't put it so close to the goalkeeper. Oh, that's a terrible kick.
What on clearance that was.
We almost get used to having brilliant goalkeeping clearances, don't we?
So it stands out when there's one like that. Pepe. And stabbing one over the top. Chambers volleying it across, and Mendy got it at the second go.
It was technically very good, wasn't it? There's only one way he could get that cross in there, which was to skim it off the top of his foot with as much spin as possible. Good technique. See it here perfectly. See, just if I talked, you know, the outstep, give it a little bit of, take a bit off it if you possibly can. And then hard skill gets it into the dangerous area, and it didn't cause us any big problems. However, he's a lovely sight to see, isn't it? Conte coming on.
There you go, Conte is back with us. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Christian Pulisic. And I think I heard the name Hakim Ziyech also off. There's Michy Batshuayi as well. Edouard Mendy will be replaced by Kepa for the final half hour. Ziyech has gone off too. Loftus-Cheek, how did he do for you in his hour or so?
Yeah, no, he was absolutely fine there. You know, involved quite a lot. Did what he does very, very well. I think he looked very strong. I mean, the question mark is always, he's very unfortunate with injuries and lasting entire games and having an effect on him. He's done 63 minutes in the pre-season. That's a very, very good start, and I think the manager will be delighted with him.
N'Golo Conte is back for his first taste of pre-season action. Batshuayi. To link up with Abraham. Oh, it's a great ball across. Barkley missed it, and then it's sent over the crossbar. The best opportunity of all fell to Baba Rahman. Barkley and Baba just on.
Do you know what? Have a look at that. Michy working with Tammy. They're dual centre forwards. They immediately look as if they want to play together, don't they?
And you say about options. Yeah. Very rarely see Chelsea play with the front two. They are two out-and-out strikers.
It was just intriguing there to see that, because, you know, they are out-and-out strikers. We think of both of them as, you know, singular, you know, up-front, on-point strikers. First thing that comes on when they're both together, they link up, and they link up really well. I think it's in his mind, Thomas Tuchel. He has done it a couple of times, hasn't he? I mean, the end of the Bournemouth game, he went for two up front, didn't he? So, you know, it must be on his mind that not necessarily to play that way every week, but to think, okay, that might be one of the options that we have to go to, and we have to consider.
And if you want a Batshuayi or Abraham, you're thinking, well, Olivier Giroud's gone. Who knows if anybody's going to come in and take his place, but those two might feel that there's a place up for grabs in the Chelsea squad. Kante doing Kante things, has won it back off Xhaka. Here's Barkley. And off Xhaka and spins behind for a corner.
Yep, it's again for Ross, it'd be good for him, but if there's a player on the planet you don't want behind you there is only one name that comes up, and it is N'Golo Kante.
Barkley's corner, not a good one. Clearance wasn't much better, mind. Here's Baba. Jacques, who actually made his Chelsea debut on this ground in 2018 in the League Cup.
He's bit of zip to made a lot of changes. They don't seem to have weakened Chelsea in the slightest just now. A real zip to the way of taking part in this part of the game. Yeah, you're going to make 3, 4, 5, 6 changes, whatever, and it can slow things down. But this little start here has been a neat start with all the new players. And I suppose it's a classic. There's players coming on thinking, I've only got half an hour. I better show everything I've got in that half an hour.
Who's been dispossessed there by Smith Rowe, and there's Pepe. It's another excellent challenge from Dujon Sterling.
He has impressed, hasn't he? I mean, a couple of really good, timing. We know he's got good pace. That's one thing that's an absolute stick on. But you can, I mean, he didn't seem favourite there, did he? At all. When that ball was first played, and he needs to nail that. That is a magnificent tackle.
See him playing in the back three in PL2 last year. Started as more of a full-back come winger, Dujon Sterling. Really impressed in his time at Coventry. He's had a loan at Wigan too. It's a decent corner onto the head of Xhaka, who couldn't steer it forward.
Good play there from Xhaka, get into that area. And who's he been marked with at this situation? Actually, just about no one. That's very good play by Conte, isn't it? I don't think it was his man.
This was the key touch, though.
I think we've got a wee problem. We've made a lot of changes in the 2 men in the back post, neither marked. Confusion in the Chelsea defence there. We're just going to do it zonally.
Pepe again out, swinging delivery, and the header down's going to go in for the equalising goal, and it is Granit Xhaka who has scored it. And that time he was left all alone, and he nodded it into the far corner so that Kepa couldn't get there. And it's Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1.
I'm just saying that before it came in, there was confusion in the Chelsea defence. We're turning around saying, well, wait a minute, there's 2 there. Nobody's marking. And they weren't sure at all. So it kind of seemed to go like a bit of a zone. But you need to be a little bit stronger there. Xhaka's been strong there. He's basically going backwards there and just waited for it. He doesn't even run onto the ball, so I think Thomas Tuchel will not be hugely impressed with the defending there. You've got to be more powerful than that. You've got to at least put him off from the challenger.
Well, not always been the most popular figure here at the Emirates, Granit Xhaka.
Good luck, by the way, what's coming up now. I think there's about 6 substitutes for Arsenal.
It's fine, Pat. We did 18 at one time in the women's game earlier. This would be a breeze.
Honestly, never, ever seen anything like it in my life. As a commentator, I do feel for you here. I mean, I've been trying very hard to follow Chelsea's in the start of the second half. That wasn't easy at all.
Nketiah, Willock, Tavares, the new boy, Hector Bellerin's coming on as well. A first glimpse for Arsenal supporters of one of their other new signings, Albert Sambi Lokonga, Belgian under-21 international. Eddie Nketiah, once at the Chelsea Academy. Lenny, Lacazette, a couple of those who've given way. Joe Willock, who had a ridiculously good end of the season, on loan at Newcastle, 7 goals in his last 7 games there. They understandably want him back.
Yeah, it was actually that few of his games, and it did look very, very special. Sometimes when you leave a team where you're not the main man or anywhere close to being one of the main men, and then suddenly you go to a team where you are one of the main men, you're not a different player, you just feel a different player.
Nuno Tavares also on. He's come in from Benfica this summer for Arsenal. That's him wearing number 20. His first touch is to give the ball away, though. Zappacosta's on the run here. Tavares trying to atone for that error. He's done so, albeit at the cost of a corner.
Bit of a shame for Chelsea to lose a goal from a set piece when we did, because I think we'd started the second half and played the first part of the second half very well indeed. Just a lack of concentration. You could see it in the corner kick before he even came in. It was a discomfort, but that can happen when you make 5 or 6 changes.
Barkley again on corner duty into the near post it went, trying to pick out Batshuayi, but didn't direct the ball toward goal.
I'd love to, I mean, we might get a chance to talk to Thomas Tuchel afterwards and what he says about that, because usually when you're going on, wait a minute.
Oh, give it away, chance for Abraham, 2-1. How easy was that? What a dreadful, dreadful mistake from the Arsenal defence collectively. But Tammy Abraham, who scored at that end of the grounds a couple of years ago, that was a more significant goal, but that one is most welcome too. And Chelsea have got their lead back.
Well, said at the beginning of the game, who would have most likely to score? And it's him. For that it's Bellerin in there, isn't it? And he's just come on. I'm not going to say he's cold because it's not a cold day. But he's not up to the speed of the game. But you need to be lively for it. So I can let it go under his feet. What a lovely finish! Really calm finish. And with Tammy, it's one of those ones where he's kind of had a few. He's probably had to think about a few. Didn't have to think about that one. He came in out of nowhere. And he just naturally finished it and actually scored.
Nketiah's back heel to Aubameyang meanwhile.
So happy for Tammy. Really happy for him. Not that many clean-cut chances in this game, and certainly one falls for him. And it's a bit like the first game against Bournemouth there, we went to see. You know, he had a few chances in the first half, then he goes off, and then the 2 other strikers score, which you're gutted about if you're a striker. It's happened the other way around here a wee bit.
Nice turn from Nketiah. A number of years gone by, Pat, doing pre-season games, getting to this stage and frantically looking at my notes for something to talk about. I barely used any of them this time. It's been really good fun.
It has. Oddly, it was the women's game. I thought was exactly the same. You know, there wasn't a drop-off. You know, lots of changes were made. It could have cooled down, but it's not been like that at all. I mean, but people are fighting for first-team spaces. To be honest, it's actually more than that. People are fighting for first-team squad places, not just getting the first team. You are going to be, if you're at Chelsea, men's or women's, you better be extraordinarily good if you want to be in the squad and not, you know, loaned out or whatever. So you're seeing people are really fighting to stay at the club for another season.
Definitely get that extra couple of percent from having supporters in the ground as well, don't you? That really affects the pace of the game.
I'll grant you that, although it did go very quiet when we scored there.
Zappacosta.
Does it do it? Does it? Every time, once in every game, at the very minimum, you think, no, you're not allowed to win that ball. It's not your ball to win and go.
Never mind to do it with such grace. No foul there from Batshuayi. Bounce back off him.
Well done, referee. You know, the Arsenal players, I would say, particularly Smith Rowe, are really talented at that. Get the ball, then run across the play and fall down. But you know, now and again, if you run across and fall down and you aren't touched, it ain't a foul.
Minutes left. Abraham and Havertz, the Chelsea goal scorers. There's Eddie Nketiah. He's going to have a thump here. Nketiah, well held by Kepa.
A few mistakes in the back line there, Sarr. Gets the ball away. Really easy. When you play, it's one of the oldest ones in the book. When you play from centre back, play it in the midfield, you've got to find your man, especially if it's deep midfield. Arsenal have just showed us what happens when you don't find a man in that situation. We nearly came across to there. You have to be double safety when you do that class, make that class.
Tavares. Sead Kolasinac came on in that flurry of substitutions. Back at Arsenal, having ended last season on loan at his first club, Schalke, as they dropped out the Bundesliga. Willock. Coming forward again here. Aubameyang waiting for a cross, and Nketiah in there too. Willock's managed to hold on to it. Through the legs of Chalobah, managed that but couldn't make any further progress.
He wasn't strong enough there, but to be honest, it looks good again, doesn't it? Well, really nice start. But you've got to A, have the skill, but B, have the power and the strength as well. And I don't think he quite had the power and the strength to get by there. And I feel a wee bit sorry, we mentioned Kepa. He's not really had a great deal to do except pick the ball out of the net. And Mendy, I mean, we didn't have a man in the post, so there's nothing you can do about that. It's not his fault. But you do feel sorry for him. Once again, Mendy goes off and can say I had a clean sheet.
Nketiah. There's Tavares. It's a ball whipped in. What a chance for 2-2. That has come and gone for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
He really should score that. He's got himself in a great position. It is a fantastic ball in. He's got himself in lots of space there. On target, that's a goal. I think he's expecting a hit from behind. I think he's expecting someone else's head to come in and maybe connect with his, and his shoulders have come up. He's got a bit of the turtle head on and not really prepared for it. You've got to take yourself through that. Thomas Tuchel's not happy with it. Danny Drinkwater there, was it? Passed the ball out. A shame there because he couldn't find anyone. Must be tiring a little bit, Danny. He's got a lot of football he's got under his belt. And of course, we don't know if he'll be able to play with N'Golo Kante. Oh, actually, we do. He did quite well once together, did he not?
Certainly did. Arsenal were the closest stopping them from winning Premier League winners' medals that season.
What a shame. Disappointing ball that, yeah. You turn round there, the ball's wide. You know, keep possession, don't give it away. And very, very high tariff ball that we're trying there. Never on. I think it was Ross, wasn't it? Just
overhit it. So we head towards the final 10 minutes in North London. Nketiah, nice turn. Good defending from Chalobah to just shepherd him away from danger. Ball flipped forward for Pepe. Pepe got something on it. Danger's not over yet though. Oh, and is that over the line? It certainly looked as though it was.
Definitely, that's got to be in. I'm afraid. It's a Frank Lampard for England against Germany moment, maybe.
No goal line technology in this game either. We only had the one look at it. We are not as close as the referee's assistant over on that far side. It's his opinion that matters.
It's one of the. It's just. I mean, we don't know. The referee doesn't know. Something else than I'll get it.
Nketiah goes to ground and Andre Marino dismissively waves his arms.
If they have got a bit of a problem there, haven't they? It's just a wee bit more than some clubs, so there's a lot throwing themselves to the ground.
Barkley. Chelsea looking to wrap it up with a third goal. Batshuayi. Into Bellerin.
Baba, you'll understand, you learn. If you run wide, it doesn't matter. He's going to shoot. He always does. Again, there's maybe offside before he actually got there, so maybe there's some sort of justice being done in the break there, but here we shall see it. Maybe it's well over there. By now, mate, we both called that. I mean,
maybe
really,
some players in the assistant's way, but he should have spotted that.
No, he should see that. I mean, having said that, we've got an angle where we're quite high up and you can see it. And, until you've actually seen the assistant referee's angle, it's hard to tell. I'm doing my best for them. But that just looked very, very in.
So Lokonga looking for in his first appearance in Arsenal red.
They do this trick, don't they, Arsenal players? They run into an opponent and then fall down and look shocked when they don't get it. Referees giving them it sometimes, other times not. Not sure that was a free kick there. I have to say we have been a wee bit lucky there. We've certainly got off with one on that occasion. Tells your story though, doesn't it, when you don't have the technology? Oh, another terrible mistake.
Straight for Abraham, he can wrap it up here, or he looked to be unselfish instead, and it was not the correct decision.
That's a wee bit of a shame that, there's lots of things you can do there. You can either have a shot, or else you can make sure you find your teammate. That you don't just kind of pass it to the opposition. Shame that for Tammy, got himself into a good position again.
Nketiah. Mile a minute stuff in the second half. Lokonga clipping it out for Bellerin. Here's Willock. Now to turn. Water away. Now race on here. Abraham favourite to get there. Away from Kolasinac, but ran into traffic. And Tavares endears himself to his new supporters.
That's bet does really well, doesn't he, Tammy? But in that situation, he's desperate to get away. He's desperate to pass away. Of course, you actually have to hold it up first.
Arsenal finishing strong as they look for the equaliser for the second time. Now Kepa has made the save.
Decent save there. It's Bothell just in front of him. He doesn't want to punch it out to where the opponents are coming in, so he just flicks it around the post there. It's not a good end to the game, hasn't it? Really lively. We're not getting as much of the ball. Arsenal are kind of bossing possession, but we still look quite dangerous on the break. And by the way, defensively, they do look a bit strange. That's been kind.
Pepe again with the outswinging delivery, headed back across goal. It's loose. A back-heeled effort. Abraham, who was able to get it away. Now Batshuayi, little stumble, but he'll still get to it. Away from Willock. Laid it off just as the challenge was coming in. Costa couldn't beat his man, but it is a Chelsea throw.
Well, sharp Batshuayi, isn't he? Very sharp since he came on. Real confidence, a bit of a swagger about him just now.
Here's Costa with some space.
No complaints there. It's a dummy inside, puts the ball wide. No big complaints from Zappacosta there, because he looked as if he was away. I was wondering if actually he just ran out of legs, but no, he's got the free kick. No complaints for anyone. Referee and assistant got this one right.
Another change before the free kick's taken. Chalobah has done all that he can do, I think, to impress his manager. It's another defender from the academy who comes on in Jake Clark-Salter. Going deep, turning a corner.
So, the more I look at it, as you say, Chalobah, Sarr, Sterling, And the amount of people that say to you, we need another centre back to cover. And just the more I look, I just think, I don't know if you really need to go and, you know, destroy things when you've actually got real decent, good, top quality players that you can go to that are provided from home.
There's Baba Rahman. And still, put it up for Sarr. He's found Rosette.
Do you know what? Good silky steals down in the corner there. If that had been, you know, some of the top wingers, you'd be thinking, well done there. Love a little bit of. We're going to actually see this again, this over the goal line stuff in it. And that's not the best angle that we're seeing just now, but certainly it looks as if it was. It's hard to tell actually without goal line technology until you see that angle that we're watching just now, and you see that was a goal.
Simon Long got it wrong.
Do you know that? And of course, in the olden days, that used to happen quite frequently.
A famous instance not too far from here. Barkley. Abraham almost nicked it. Put the pressure on though. No foul. Batshuayi's up there with him. White's back defending. Abraham going to go for goal himself this time. He did hit Leno, then it hit him. I don't think he liked the movement from Batshuayi.
And Michy's saying, you've got to pass it to me. You've got two centre backs that are utter centre forwards who are utter centre forwards, and that's all they care about, scoring. In the end, it's an acute angle from Tammy there. You can't blame him for going for it, but the other ones that if you pass it, you know, if you don't score, you will get a bit of stick for your mate. With that Shadra, he's done all the work himself, hasn't he? Once again, the Arsenal defender's going down, but Michy actually probably was in there. When you look at it from this angle, if he looks up, but that's strikers, isn't it? Strikers want to score.
Couple of shaky moments for Leno in the Arsenal goal.
The defence doesn't look right. The Arsenal defence.
Well, that's why they've spent 50 million quid on one player to try and solve it, I guess.
When you look at Chelsea's defence, and considering, you know, started to you without Christensen, Rudiger's gone off. They've not got Silva back yet, and you're looking at all the players that have come in. Each of them are probably as comfortable as the Arsenal back there. You know, as easily as comfortable as them. I think we're a wee bit spoiled at Chelsea at the moment in various parts of the pitch, but certainly centre backs. I think the manager will be happy.
Fouling Abraham, time's almost up. See what we get in terms of stoppage time.
Wasn't it just a moment ago there when Tammy Abraham did win that ball and he got through? The Arsenal defender throws himself down again, saying I'm injured again, and it's almost as if it's something that's going through that club. They're throwing themselves. The referee's not falling for it the vast majority of the time, and I just wish more referees were like that. But you know, if it's something at a club, you could lose a lot out of that if you get absolutely, you know, feel as if you have to do it all the time. It's almost like an addiction. You can't stop doing it. And I don't think it's that doing Arsenal any favours at the moment, throwing themselves down easily.
Aubameyang. Into the head of Sarr. Pepe's picked up the scraps. Bellerin's backing him up. Extra minutes at the end of the game for Arsenal to try and find a leveller. There's Aubameyang, he might be able to do it. He's clean through. He didn't get the power on the shot, and it was a straightforward save for Kepa from 6 yards from his goal.
Again, you have to look at the defender, right? Nice little 1-2. That's actually Brown. That's top Premier League movement there. Nice little flick round the corner there. Do you know what? Put him under pressure. Make sure he doesn't get a clean striker. Make sure that, you know, if he's through there and you don't read that run, he's calm when he's in one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But that's actually, in the end, actually quite good defending, because that little flick round the corner ball there, you almost can't read that. You can't do anything about that. So you need to make it as difficult as possible for him. I actually think, oddly enough, 1-1 with the keeper, but it was still good defending.
Batshuayi. And again from Barkley. Gonna have a thumb. Oh, goodness me, that looked painful. Came out for N'Golo Kanté, teed up for Batshuayi. Struck the defender with his shot.
It was great for N'Golo, wasn't it? It was a hilarious moment there. The ball's played to Michy and he's shooting from that strange angle there. And he's had a go at Tammy for doing the same thing and thinking, you know that he'll always have a shot as soon as he gets half a chance. That's his game. You'd like Michy to get another little chance. You know, he's actually got the ball 2 or 3 times to his feet. He's probably had 2 shots towards the target that have been with power and would have been on target. They got blocked. It's just his game. He's phenomenal at it. There might be other parts of it that the game that he needs to have to work on, but certainly that part of the game has never been a problem. Get the ball turning and get it on target with power.
By Kappa, that might be that in terms of opportunities for Arsenal to get themselves an equaliser late on here. Here's Barkley. Still maybe time for Chelsea to add a third. Chipped over to Zappacosta, lovely ball back across from him, and Batshuayi's shot deflected over and behind, but there will be no time to take the corner because that is that. Chelsea have beaten Arsenal here at the Emirates Stadium. Tammy Abraham's goal proved to be the winning one, that after Kai Havertz had put the Blues ahead by half-time with a lovely finish. Granit Xhaka equalised with a little more than 20 to play, but not long after that Abraham scored. Arsenal felt they should have had an equaliser. Ball looked over the line from the effort from Lokonga, the new man, but it was not given, and so it is Chelsea who take the victory here. A good end to a good day of football live.